Welcome to the Florida Citrus Sports Scouting Report presented by Florida Hospital. I'm Erin Campbell. With 6 weeks to go until bowl bids are handed out, our committee is beginning to focus on the nuances that affect the selection process. 13 teams in our partner conferences are ranked in the latest BCS poll, including number 1 Auburn and number 5 Michigan State. The Tigers and Heisman hopeful quarterback Cam Newton are the only undefeated team in the SEC after topping LSU. They are set for an Iron Bowl showdown with number 7 Alabama, but must avoid 2 potential trap games with Mississippi and Georgia. The Bulldogs are seeking their 4th consecutive division win this weekend when they play Florida. The Gators will host East leader South Carolina in 3 weeks and must win both games to control their own fate. In the Big Ten, Wisconsin's back-to-back wins over Ohio State and Iowa put them in contention for a conference championship. However, due to an early season loss to Michigan State, the Badgers need help. The Spartans will play their last remaining game against a ranked opponent this weekend when they travel to play the Hawkeyes. Losses by ACC coastal teams Georgia Tech and North Carolina leave Miami as the only team within striking distance of division leader Virginia Tech. Florida State remains on top in the Atlantic but has yet to play division contenders NC State, Clemson, and Maryland. Pittsburgh moves to the top of the Big East after defeating Rutgers. 5 other teams are within 1 loss of the Panthers, with a lot of football left to be played. I'm here with Chuck Beverly, Chairman of Florida Citrus Sports. Chuck, let's start with the SEC. Georgia will play Florida at a neutral site this weekend, and in the last 3 contests, the Bulldogs have scored 40-plus points. Could they be the wild card in the SEC East?
They certainly could, Aaron. I mean, they're really peaking at the right time. I mean, after a rough start to the season, I mean, they have played extremely well the last few weeks. Georgia's only obstacle is going to be the fact that they don't own their own destiny. Florida and South Carolina both have the tiebreakers against Georgia, so Georgia's going to need a little bit of help.
In the ACC, there's a handful of teams that could compete for a conference championship. What are some games that would help shape the conference?
Well, I think, Aaron, the big game is this weekend. Florida State and NC State. Florida State wins that game, they pretty much lock up that side of the ACC conference. The other big game is not going to happen until later in the season. That's going to be Miami and Virginia Tech. They're both 1 and 2 in their conference. Virginia Tech has a chance to wrap it up with that game. Miami, though, can pull even, and of course, then on the tiebreaker.
Last week, Chuck Rowe discussed the possibility of the BCS only selecting 1 Big Ten team. How are we preparing for that scenario?
Well, I think, Aaron, the good news for Florida Citrus Sports is that another really good team is going to drop to us for consideration. I mean, you're looking at 3 teams now that are looking somewhat likely. Iowa, Ohio State, and Wisconsin. All 3 have just been great partners with Florida Citrus Sports in the Capital One Bowl game in the past. And, I think we'd be glad to have any of those 3. As far as the process, I think national rankings, certainly it always does seem to have big impact on it. But the other thing is going to be which team, finishes the strongest. That's going to be very important.
Our Capital One Bowl game of the week is Michigan State at Iowa. Our Champ Sports Bowl game of the week is Florida State at NC State. Visit FCSports.com for previews for both games. See you next week on the Florida Citrus Sports Scouting Report presented by Florida Hospital.